IAF's mega Air Force show across the skies of Chennai was a stunning success with breathtaking acrobatics. However, right after the end, tragedy struck thousands of feet below on the streets of Chennai. Now, the event, which got registered in Limca Book of Records with an attendance of over 13 lakh people, resulted in unprecedented scenes. After the event, as lakhs of people attempted to exit the iconic Marina Beach at the same time, with even the police unable to control the crowd, that is. In fact, dramatic pictures show a sea of humanity on streets, with multiple reports claiming that at least 5 people died due to dehydration after being under the blazing sun for hours, and dozens ended up being hospitalized as well. Let me take that point straight away to Dharani Balasubramanya, my colleague, who will help us draw more perspective as far as accountability in this matter that's concerned. Dharani, good morning. This is absolutely unfortunate to be looking at what really unfolded here. But more importantly, as we talk about accountability in this particular matter, what do we know so far?
Around 10 to 12 lakh people attended this event that happened between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. in Chennai yesterday. So Chennai, as we all know for a fact, is a very hot city. So because of the heat and the humidity, a lot of people experience dehydration and other issues. And now we are given to understand that 5 people have lost their lives after attending the Indian Air Force's air show on the Marina Beach yesterday. Apart from the 5 people who lost their lives, over 100 people were hospitalized with issues of dehydration, nausea, and others. So right now the state government is yet to put out any official numbers, but we have got a clarification tweet from the health minister of the state, Ma Subramanian. So this clarification tweet is about the arrangements. He's only talking about the arrangements. He is telling that the state government made all the arrangements in accordance with what was requested by the Indian Air Force. 40 ambulances, an adequate number of doctors and nurses. They were deployed, at the spot to make sure everything is, flawless. And he's also going on to tell that 100 beds and 65 doctors were also kept ready in various government hospitals across Chennai city. 7,500 police personnel were on duty, for security maintenance, surrounding the venue is what he's telling. But despite this, now we're given to understand that 5 people have lost their lives. But interestingly, in the tweet by the health minister, we couldn't see any mention about the chaos or the deaths. He's only talking about the arrangements made by the state government. But as far as the opposition parties, the BJP and the ADMK are concerned, both of them are hitting out at the Stalin Sarkar. They are telling that the government should take sole responsibility for this misgovernance, and that in fact EPS has gone a step ahead, and he is alleging that lack of police personnel in the spot to maintain the crowd and the traffic has what led to the chaos, and the chaos led to the death. So the sole reason, the major reason for this whole chaos is because of less number of police personnel to maintain the crowd and the traffic is what a leader of opposition Edappadi Palaniswamy is alleging.
Dharani, stay with me. I'm going to come back to you. Understand Kovai Satyan is joining us on the broadcast as well. Mr. Satyan, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here this morning on Mirror Now. As far as this incident is concerned, it's absolutely tragic. What do you make of how the situation could have been handled better?
There is a precedent. Way back in 2003, when a leader Amma was there, the air show was conducted with similar size of crowd. There were no incidences of this being reported. It was so well thought and planned and executed. And here it clearly shows the incompetence of M.K. Stalin and his Council of Ministers. I could see children fainting in front of my eyes. I could see women screaming for help, for medical attention. I could see young boys searching for water. And when the ambulance was being called out, we couldn't reach the venue on time because it was all stationed near the VVIP galleries. If you ask the police person, he's saying, I don't have any clue where to guide you. They were clueless. I asked the policeman, sir, guide us to the nearest medical aid center, which is there. He said, sir, I don't have any clue. You search for yourself. This is how the management was. It was complete and total failure.
So, Mr. Satyan, you're essentially going on to state that there were many lapses. And do you think that there was lack of police personnel on the ground to also manage this particular situation, like how you're pointing out with the scenes that you saw firsthand?
First, the police force was insufficient. Not only the police force, you need interdepartmental cooperation.
Hmm.
You could have called in for the other people as well and deputed more force, volunteers. And there was no public address system to tell the people where is the entrance and where is the exit and what is to be addressed. There's clearly no clue, no communication, zero communication. There is no water, there is no restroom for women and children. And there is no medical counters available to treat people in such cases of people who faint. There has to be some first aid that needs to be made to them available. But there were no counters. There's zero planning. All they were interested in the VVIP galleries, where VVIPs were seated with AC, makeshift tents. They were only interested. All the ambulances were stationed around them. The common man had to walk for 5-10 kilometers to reach the venue itself. There is no coordination with the transport department. There is no coordination with the health, medical department. Zero planning. It's a total failure. If any
Right,
iota
Mr.
of
Satyan.
shame that to be left
Thank you
with the
very
health
much for
minister,
joining
he
us in the
should resign.
broadcast. All right, so you're essentially asking for the resignation of the health minister as well as far as this is concerned. But thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. I do understand Narayan Tirupati is also joining me on the broadcast. Mr. Tirupati, thank you very much for taking the time out. We heard what Kovai Satyan had to say, also essentially stating how there were, of course, lapses that has come to the fore, and more importantly, asking the resignation of the health minister with the fact that we're looking at 5 unfortunate deaths. But how do you view what has essentially happened on ground?
See, it is the total negligence and neglect of the administration, and the entire city was choked with, the crowd, the people, all the railway stations, MRTs, the bus trams, the roads, lanes, everything. There was no proper planning, and it is only because of the misadministration by the Tamil Nadu government, the Corporation of Chennai, and also the police. In spite of the people are aware that more than 15 lakhs will be there during this airshow, but the management, the administration failed in the security arrangement. So the government has to take responsibility. First, they should take responsibility, but instead, the health minister says that there is no test. It is really surprising. All media, including the Hindu, the Dinapala in Tamil, everyone has said that 5 people have so far died, and still there are so many hundreds of people in hospital. But the health minister says that absolutely there is no death. It is really shocking. So you are there doing one mistake after another. That is what they are trying to. They are trying to share the responsibility. They should own it. They should account it, and they should see to it that it doesn't happen again.
Thank you very much for joining us with how you're essentially looking at it. But you've, of course, said that it's neglect of administration. That was, of course, Narayan Tirupati also speaking to us. And initially, we did have Kovai Satyan of the AIADMK speaking to us. This is Narayan Tirupati of the BJP, who, of course, in a nutshell, what both of them have gone on to state is that the entire responsibility, of course, of the fact that there were scenes like this that was witnessed, that kind of responsibility for what has occurred right now should be taken by the government, especially with Kovai Satyan going on to demand that the health minister should be resigning as far as what we're looking at. Dharani, my colleague, of course, has continuously been reporting on this development for us. She filed more details as to what we know so far. Let's take a look at that.
The state government made all the arrangements in accordance with what was required by the Indian Air Force. He says that 40 ambulances and adequate number of doctors and nurses, they were deployed at the spot to make sure everything goes smoothly. And he also says that 65 beds and 100 doctors, they were kept ready in various government hospitals in Chennai city, and apart from that 7,500 police personnel were also deployed at this spot to maintain the crowd and law and order is what the health minister is telling. But interestingly, in this tweet put out by the health minister, he is not mentioning anything about the chaos or the deaths. He is only talking about the arrangements made by the state government on the request of the Indian Air Force. Today morning we given to understand the latest information is that 5 people have lost their lives after attending the Indian Air Force's air show on the shores of Marina Beach yesterday. So this show happened between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and Chennai, as we all know for a fact, is a very hot city. So because of the heat and humidity, scores of people experienced dehydration, nausea and other issues, and out of them 5 people have lost their lives after they left the venue, is what we're given to understand. And around 90 people were also hospitalized as far as the dehydration issue is concerned. So far the state government has not put out any official number on this. The state government is also yet to put out any clarification on the chaos and the deaths. But we have to wait and see what the state government is going to tell today. Meanwhile, the opposition parties, be it the BJP or the ADMK, both of them are slamming the Stalin government for this alleged misgovernance. They are telling that MK Stalin is solely responsible for this, and that the JMK government should take sole responsibility for the chaos that unfolded. In fact, leader of opposition Edappadi Palaniswamy, who is also the general secretary of AADMK, he alleges that lack of police personnel at the spot led to this chaos. He says that there wasn't enough police personnel in the spot to maintain the crowd and the traffic, and that is what has led to the chaos, and the chaos led to the deaths is what he's alleging. So a very big allegation coming in from the leader of opposition. Let's wait and see how the GMK is going to tackle the allegations from the opposition parties. But for now, even in the social media, be it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, we can see a lot of people who attended this air show, a lot of them complaining about inadequacy of toilets and water, and also the poor crowd management. These are people who are not affiliated to any political parties. These are common public who attended the air show, and we could see a lot of them complaining on social media about the poor crowd management and poor traffic management. So definitely the government is answerable, but so far the government has been mum on the alleged misgovernance.
It was very unfortunate that the Chennai Corporation, the Tamil Nadu government and the Chennai police did not cooperate with the public. It is most unfortunate that the maladministration, misadministration, the most worst traffic arrangements done by the Tamil Nadu police, the Chennai police has created. This is due to lack of proper planning, lack of intelligence. It is really disgusting to see that there were no arrangements by the police. There were no planning or thinking by the police that this huge crowd will be there, and what will happen to them if there is a stampede. Absolutely there was no arrangement, and this is a lackluster attitude of the government. The government should own responsibility for this most unfortunate incident, and those who have failed should be definitely punished. The government should own responsibility, the accountability. It should not wash their hands by just suspending some few officials for this. The government has to take full responsibility of this and see to it that in future it doesn't happen.
And the lives of 5 people who lost while attending the event clearly shows how incompetent leader MK Stalin is and his department and council of ministers are. Lakhs and lakhs came to the venue to express their solidarity and patriotism on this event. While VVIPs and VIPs, the King Stalin and his family were happy in a makeshift tent with air-conditioned facility. People are made to stand on the sun without any food, any water, no makeshift restrooms, no medical facilities. Clearly indicates how misgovernance are there and how mismanagement can be.